guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 13, episode 3. So I'm thinking it's going to be a short review, but every time I say something going to be short, I get to talking and it be 30 minutes, but we'll see. But let's get into it. So before we get into it, y'all, we're going to get a little spicy, just a little, and there's 3 spicy topics I want to talk about. First one's up is shouts out to Erica. You know, like her tagline said, you know, the best part about losing everything is getting it all back. And I guess she getting it all back in this some. So Erica has a spinoff. It was released during BravoCon, so last weekend, and the show was called Bet It All on Blonde. And I watched the trailer. The trailer was pretty decent. It's pretty much documenting the lead up process to her first show in Vegas. So if you didn't know, Erica has a show in Vegas. And, you know, I've heard mixed reviews. Some people have really enjoyed it, some people not so much. But I feel like if you go to see a housewife who you going for there because you wanted to see a housewife, you know what I mean? You know, it's not like if I was going to go see like Candace or Candy, like I'm some people that I'm expecting to like really give me something because they seem to really be invested in their craft. Whereas Erica Jane's whole persona always felt like it was just something for her to do and was something on her bucket list. And there's nothing wrong with that being on her bucket list. Like, look, we saw Flavor Flav singing the national anthem, and you know, at first it was cringe. But when I found out that that was on that man's bucket list, I had to give him a clap because at least you crossed it off the list, you know? You crossed it off the list. But basically it's just a detailing how she got to her first show. So you'll see her being stressed out. I don't know if that's her stylist. I think it is her stylist. I guess he's gonna be like her production manager too. He having meltdowns. It's just they running out of money. They need money. So I think it might be a pretty decent show. It's probably gonna only have maybe at the most like 8 episodes, at the least probably 6. I would be surprised if it went into the double digits, like 10 or 11, because normally those spinoff shows don't get that, you know, that much. But good for Erica. So the second spicy thing we're going to talk about is Crystal. So I was scrolling on the timeline and I saw the Bravo page called Queens of Bravo post this clip of Crystal where she was doing an interview with Dateline. And the caption that they post was like, Crystal reveals that hashtag RHOB editors cut out the moment where she defended Garcelle against Dorit. So we know at the end of this episode, Garcelle is pretty much telling the ladies that she's not comfortable sharing her family around them after what happened last season. And, you know, Dorit has some things to say about it, and we'll talk about it in the review. But it looks like Crystal reveals that she pretty much was like, I stood up for Garcelle. And I'm going to play the audio for y'all, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Really stood by her in that. And I was defending her, saying that, like, had this happened to one of your children, you know, you might have a different tune. And I also said that had this happened to my children, I probably wouldn't forgive anyone ever. I don't think I would try to move on, but I don't think I would ever forget. And I would be very protective of my children to the point where I might not want them to like talk about them, see them. Again, my kids are a lot younger. They're a different impressionable age. That being said, I always feel like kids are always off limits. I don't care what's going on. I'm always very respectful of not only children, but family and marriage and all that. So I 100% understood where Garcelle was coming from.
All right, y'all. So you just heard the Dateline audio of Crystal's interview with them. I'm going to place the article of that video down in the description bar below. But here's my thoughts. I feel like in the beginning of the season, maybe they were trying to phase Crystal out until she got into it with Anne Marie. Because, you know, if you notice, episode 1, we were all being like, where is Crystal? Like, it was the first episode and we saw her less than 2 seconds. Really, honestly, less than 2 minutes. And then, you know, we get to episode 2 and she's talking about her brother and that situation. And it's like, That's not really a storyline that any of us are about to be invested in, mainly because we don't know who your brother truly is. And when I say truly is, it's like they have not built him up to be a character on the show where we should care. Like, you think about Meredith and Brooks. Meredith, like, Brooks is his own like kind of character on Salt Lake City. Mama Joyce is her own character on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Mama Dot on Potomac is her own character. Like, Miss Sheila on Potomac is her own character. It's like y'all haven't built up Crystal's brother enough for us to care about the issues they have together, or him being upset about, the ending of his relationship. So it's giving like Crystal really didn't have a storyline. So the fact that they edited out her standing up for Garcelle makes me feel like maybe they were thinking about, letting her go. But then, like I said, she got into it with Anne Marie, and then they were like, oh, okay, we can work with this. You know what I mean? But Crystal needs to go back to the way she used to behave her first season. Y'all know I wasn't featuring Crystal her first season, and I still stand by that. But if this was if being on the show was important to her, I think she should have stayed that same way, because she would have gained a fan base that was solid enough, and she would have been more interesting enough to where she could have kept going. I think the issue is Crystal couldn't handle the fan backlash. Like, Sutton got a fan. Sutton, the Sutton stands love them some Sutton. I'm not a stan of Sutton, but I love me some Sutton. But they couldn't, a lot of them were vicious towards Crystal, and I don't think she was prepared for that type of energy. And I just think she was just kind of like, you know what, let me smooth it over with her so we can move forward. And I think she kind of doled herself out. So hopefully she wake up, because the clips I saw of her getting Jeff Lewis together at BravoCon, I was like, that's the type of energy you need to keep if you want to stay on this show. All right, y'all. So the last spicy thing we're going to talk about is Kyle and Mauricio. Now, I read through this long page 6 article, but I'm not going to read it on here. We got to get into this review. I'm going to put the article in the link below if you would like to read it for yourself. But the title of the article goes, Inside Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky's Messy Split and What's at Stake. So, word on the curve is that Kyle and Mauricio combined together have amassed $100 million. And Kyle and Mauricio didn't have a prenup because when they got together, neither one of them had money. Now, mind you, if Leah ever get married, i.e. me, we getting a prenup over here. It don't matter if I got $50 to my name. You not taking my $50. You're just not gonna do it, okay? But they don't have a prenup, and everyone's like, well, maybe it might be cheaper to keep her. Maybe they might need to hit the Will and Jada where, they split, but like they still are legally married, and nobody, no one's, it doesn't mess with the overall funds, and they just, move that way in their marriage, and there's an understanding. I don't know. I really don't know. But I honestly think that maybe they might really be getting a divorce. A lot of people feel like Kyle and them are playing in our faces. But I told y'all, I'm like 45, 55, and it switches. Like, some days, 50% of me is like, yes, this is real. And the other 45% of me is like, no, it's not real. And then on other days, I'm like, no, 55, like, no, this isn't real. 45, yes, this is real. It goes back and forth. But when I saw Kyle crying on the Beverly Hills panel at BravoCon, when someone asked her about her and Mauricio, I was like, to me, Kyle ain't that good of an actor to cry on the spot like that. So maybe this really is real, and she's struggling. And Teddy, y'all know she get on everybody's nerves, but Teddy Mellencamp on her podcast with Tamara was like, no, Mo effed up. So it looks like possibly he got caught cheating. Maybe it was the person that he cheated with, or maybe he got one of the girls he was messing around with. Maybe he got her pregnant. We don't know. That's all speculation. But Teddy, who's really close with Kyle, maybe and for her to be like, he effed up, he probably did do something that Kyle was just like, I can't. And then on top of that, we all know about her best friend, unfortunately, unaliving herself. And maybe this all happened all at once around the same time that she can't take it. But I don't know. And then there was this blind item about, and I wish I would have took a screenshot of it, y'all. But it was a blind item where it pretty much said that there's an artist that's mad at a housewife because they thought the housewife was going to help them network, and the artist and the housewife got into a real heated argument about the situation. And a lot of people are speculating that this blind item was about Morgan and Kyle, because we know Morgan is supposedly supposed to be like this up and coming country singer, and everyone was like, maybe she's using Kyle to like network or get her name out there. I don't know. All I know is it's getting messy over there. And it's getting messy over there. But let's get into this review. All right, y'all. So the episode opens up, and we all know that the girls are in Las Vegas. They're celebrating Crystal's 40th birthday, and everyone's sitting down trying to eat. They just got off the plane. Garcelle went to her room and changed. Garcelle said, "Girl, I'm ready to hit the strip. I'm here to do like where the men at? Where are the men? Okay." And so everyone's looking at Garcelle like, "Girl, what? We just got here. We just got here." So then Garcelle was like, "Ugh." So they sit down, everyone's like eating, because I guess they got like food to the room. And Garcelle's like, let's talk about dating. Basically putting Sutton on the spot, because Sutton like, girl, really, really, girl. And so everyone's like, what are we talking about? Like what legit are we talking about? Like, what's going on? So pretty much Garcelle is like, let's talk about how we can date better. Because we all know Sutton keeps getting first dates, but she's not been able to get a second date. So then they're talking about how she had a really nice date with this one guy. They kissed and they were cool. And then she invited him to like New York to a black tie affair event. And he pretty much ghosted her. And Dorit was kind of like, girl, what? She was like, first of all, you don't ask somebody that you just like, you know, you only been on one date. Maybe let's get to the third date and then ask them to come to you with a black tie affair. And she was like, now if the roles were reversed, and then she stopped herself and she was like, nah, I probably would have thought that was sexy if a man asked me to come. But it's kind of it's crazy how like double standards are how we perceive things based off of like gender. How it's like it's creepy when one group does it, but it's acceptable when another one, and like vice versa depending on what it is. And so everyone's kind of like, yeah, girl, no. So then they all were going through Sutton's phone, and Sutton was fighting back. She told Garcelle, well, maybe if you get a first date, then you could tell me about what I do. And then she gave her phone to Kyle because they wanted to read her messages. She told one dude that he had nice triceps. Now, one thing me and Sutton got in common, when a man's arms are nicely defined, like they not too big, they're not small, they're like right in the middle, and you know they lift a little bit of weights, that will get me. They just look strong, you know, and that will get me. I don't think I would say I admire your triceps, but I'd have been like, your arms are very defined. Like, what do you know, we would have struck up a conversation like, so what you be doing in the gym? Like, what do you be doing in the gym? Maybe I need to come watch. But they were like, Sutton, you couldn't say like nice eyes, whatever. So then you see Kyle take her phone, like Kyle ends up trying to, like, she presses FaceTime, and Kyle did that on purpose, because girl, you have to like especially in an iPhone, it's not readily available for you to just click FaceTime. Like, you have to click on the icon and then click on that person, or click the icon for it to like turn on. So you did that on purpose. Then Sutton runs after her, and Sutton is like, I don't understand why I keep giving Kyle my phone. And then they do a flashback where she FaceTimed I think he was the Indian guy, that I thought her, like Sutton and him had like hit it off. They seemed to really like each other's vibe. And Sutton was like, girl, I gotta stop giving her my phone. But I was just like, yeah, stop giving that lady your phone. All right, y'all. So let's get ready to go to this male review. So everyone's getting ready. Sutton is wearing these ugly white pants. You know what? And I need Garcelle. I keep telling y'all, Garcelle needs to go have a conversation with either Dr. Wendy stylist or the girls in Atlanta. I need you to get one of the scammers, the boosters, or the real stylists in Atlanta to come fly out to California to help you with your fashions. Because what was this pastoral, like, like Karen Clark Shear outfit? I don't, like, Garcelle, you're too pretty for that, lady. You are way too pretty for that. But pretty much, we find out that they're going to the male review, and they have to wear pants if they want to be a part of the show. You know, in most of the like male reviews, when they bring the ladies onto the onto the stage, they gotta wear pants because they be flipping it, picking them up. They they be passing the ladies around like hors d'oeuvres. They be doing it, they be dipping and doing it. They had the girls in there spread eagle, faces in the places, just having a good time. So you gotta wear pants. The only three girls that wore pants were Crystal, she the birthday girl. Erica, because we found out that Erica knows a few of the dancers, or at least one of the dancers. Like, she's been dancing with that person for a long time. And then Sutton wore pants. Now, Sutton in these white Sunday's best pants. Girl, okay. So Sutton has these white pants. It was a big hoopla online because of the way she was talking to Avi. We know Avi is there and getting things together. Sutton was being rude to him, and it wasn't nice. And it's like, okay, Sutton, like, I know he's your assistant, but you don't treat him like that. You gotta do better, lady. You gotta do better. So, next thing you know, we end up seeing the ladies go. We end up seeing the ladies go to the male review. They had a good time. In the beginning, they had a good time. And Sutton was having a good time. She was like, oh, I wore effing pants. I'm ready. Like, Sutton was ready to be picked up and flipped and dipped and everything. So the guys, they do their little dances. You see Crystal and Erica get pulled to be on stage. So then Sutton's demeanor kind of shifted because she thought she was going to be one of the girls to get pulled on stage. And then you see one of the other men come up. He start rolling and dipping and giving Garcelle a show. Mind you, Garcelle and Sutton are sitting next to each other. He's like doing it in front of kind of like Dorit and Garcelle, and Sutton's demeanor went even downward. She flipped. She was not a happy girl. She was not a happy girl. So the male review, not Kyle, but Crystal and Erica on stage, and they start doing their dances. With the men start doing their dance, girl, they was picking them girls up. They was mind you. I've never been to a male review. I don't know if I could go, only because I would have been laughing the whole time. You know how some girls get up there and they get real serious and like into it. I would have been giggling the whole entire time. Even when that man was rolling in front of Garcelle, I would have giggled. I remember that, like, on my campus, there used to be these guys who would pass out flyers. They had like their own male review, but it was called the Mandingo Parade. I said, I can't do it. Oh my God. And so we Googled an advertisement for them. Y'all, when I tell you it was too much going on in that 5, it was only probably like a minute and 50-second review clip. I was like, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it. Plus, I think female strippers are better anyway, but I couldn't do it. So I'd have been no good. But, Sutton was upset. You see Garcelle kind of being like, ooh, crap. Like, she wore pants and she didn't get picked. And then you see Dorit being like, oh, I feel bad. And so Sutton was like, I wore effing pants for nothing. And then she gets up and she stormed off. And she was like, I'm a part of the ballet review board or whatever. Girl, that meant nothing. Sutton's feelings were hurt. So Garcelle follows after her to see if she's okay. She in the bathroom, kind of having a freak out moment. Then she's they're sitting in front of the bathroom. You then see Kyle come out, and they were like, girl, why you wiping yourself off? Girl, we found out that they was licking whipped cream off of Kyle's chest and thighs. I said, no, that couldn't have been me. I don't want no saliva of no random man on me. Mind you, I probably would have been amped to do Crystal and Erica's part. You could do all of that, but don't lick on me. I don't know where your tongue's been, sir. I don't know what you be doing in your past time. Don't do that to me. But Kyle wiping off herself, and Sutton said that was okay. And I'm like, what's the difference? And there is no difference. You then see Crystal, Crystal, Erica, and Dorit still in there enjoying themselves, as they should be, especially Crystal, because it's her birthday. And you see, yeah, it's her birthday. And then you see Garcelle, Kyle, and Sutton sitting down at a table outside the venue, and Sutton told them, y'all could go back in there. I'ma just go to the sprinter. And so they're like, no, we're gonna sit here and talk to you about it. And pretty much Sutton is trying to act like it's not about the her pants and not being called up. She's trying to conflate it with like her image. Girl, you was fine. And they showed the clips. You told the girls on the plane you wore pants and you got pants and panties. You told them you don't really wear pants, but you got your pants on today. And you had your $1 bills. You were ready to throw money like ones at the men. You're just upset you didn't get picked. And that's just what it is. Then Kyle and her got into it while they were walking to the sprinter, where Sutton was like, Kyle, you're such a bitch. And then when they got to the door to go outside, Sutton was like, here comes Kyle getting into a conversation that she never heard of. And Kyle was like, don't be a bitch to me, Sutton, because you feeling some type of way. And mind you, I think that was a dig at Kyle for the whole Diana situation, when Kyle was shoving on Sutton. And a lot of people felt like Kyle was tripping, which she was. She was doing too much. And like I said, Sutton should have popped her in the face. But Kyle got really mad, and so they got on the sprinter. Mind you, before they got on the sprinter, Garcelle told Kyle, hey, tell the ladies we gonna sit on the sprinter. The show almost over anyway. And then Kyle texts Crystal being like, Sutton's upset. We got to go. And Crystal sees the text and she tells Dorit and Erica like, we got to go. And they like, no. And I'm like, I would have stayed in there too. The sprinter ain't gonna leave without me. And if anything, I could take an Uber back to the hotel. It's not that deep. Honestly, what it is Sutton is insecure and her feelings got hurt. That's just really what it is. She wore pants. She thought she was going to get picked, and she didn't get picked. You had the ladies in the beginning of the episode talking about how, it's hard for her to get a first date. And I just think, like, she just thought she was going to get picked, and she didn't get picked, and her feelings got hurt. Did she handle it in a bad way? Yes, she did, because you could have just sat there. Because there was no need for that type of emotion, that display of emotions, to get up and storm off. You came off like a hater. And, I felt bad for Sutton. Did I like the way she behaved? No, I thought it was wrong. But I felt bad for her because I think Sutton is struggling with her desirability. And, like, at the age that she is now, Sutton and Erica are the same age. They're both 52. But they're on two different ends of the spectrum. And they're both experiencing life differently as it pertains to being looked at as desirable. And I think Sutton is really struggling with that, with her not being able to get to a second date and wanting to have companionship and those things. And I think not being picked, I think it hit that insecurity button for her. And just because she's insecure doesn't mean she has the right to act the way that she acted. But I've been there. I've been there when you going out with your friends. You got your hair done real, like your hair is done the way you want it. The outfit you got on, you like, oh, this is gone. I look good. Like I look cute as hell. Like, I'm thinking, you think in your mind that you of course I'm going to be approached. Of course somebody's going to ask me for my number. Like, I'm going to have a good time, nice, cute conversations with the guys at the bar or at the club or at the kickback or a house party, whatever. And then you get there with your friends and everybody is talking to them, but not you, or talking around you. And then you see your friends who have people who are in relationships having to turn dudes down, or the guys that are talking around you are trying to, or when a guy is just trying to talk to you so he can have a way into the conversation with your friends. So they'll, like, if they're not confident enough to talk to your friends, they'll talk to you first, and then they'll talk to the friends, and then you are not even a part of the conversation anymore. And then you got to sit there with that and be like, okay, you don't want to come off like a hater like Sutton. But your feelings are hurt, and now you just kind of got to sit there and just be like, I'm here. And I think that's what it was for Sutton. I think she was like, I feel like I look cute. I wore pants. That's what the assignment called for. And I didn't get brought up on stage. And then when the guy that came up there, to do his little dance in front of Garcelle and Dorit, he wasn't even paying attention to Sutton. And so I just think she was just like, damn. But like I said, you just got to sit there and eat those feelings. Because one, you don't want to come off like a hater, like Sutton looked like. And two, you don't want to make a scene because they gonna look at you like you crazy. And that's what's happening. She made a scene and she came off like a hater. So they leave the function. All the girls are now on the sprinter. And pretty much Erica tells Sutton, girl, I'm not about to let you ruin my night. I had a fun time. I'm in a really good mood. And Sutton's like, you shouldn't. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Then Crystal chimes in and she's like, none of us are offended. Our husbands aren't even offended. Then you have Dorit being like, it's kind of messed up that 80% of us were gone when the show, we were invited to be guests at the show. And like I said, it made Sutton look like a hater. She looked crazy. But I get it. I get it. And I mean, Erica was right. Like, you just upset that you didn't get pulled up on stage. That's pretty, like, that's just what it is. So we see them go to dinner. They start talking about, when they get to dinner, they start talking about, Garcelle's family, about Oliver, her oldest son. He was on Vanderpump Rules. Now he getting a divorce because he decided he wanted to be a thought. Then the kids, and Garcelle, I guess, was like trying to share information but didn't know how much information she wanted to share with the ladies. And then next thing you know, it's the next morning. So they're all eating breakfast and they're all sitting down in the den area of their hotel room. And Garcelle pretty much says, you know what, y'all, I feel like I was being disingenuous when I was sharing information about my kids because honestly, I don't trust y'all when it comes to my family. And everybody's taken aback by it because no one wants to be labeled as being untrustworthy around other people's kids. I don't think nobody want that. Don't nobody want that. And so everyone's kind of looking at her and she starts to explain. She was like, I know y'all apologize for the laughing. We see at the Eagle Woman retreat, Kyle apologizes about, she says, I'm sorry again about laughing at Jax. They do a flashback to when Erica apologized last season for it. And then Dorit took offense to it. Dorit felt like, it's been a year. Why aren't you over this yet? And this is my thing. Dorit's robbery situation is not on the same lines as what happened with Garcelle's son and Jax, but they are still important events in both of these ladies' lives. So nobody can tell Dorit, get over it. Your PTSD doesn't matter. Same as Dorit shouldn't be able to tell Garcelle, it's been a year. Yeah, it's been a year, and yes, she's forgiving y'all, but just because someone forgives you does not mean they trust you. They can forgive you and move on from the situation. And then by the end of the conversation, like a lot of people said, it felt like Dorit did the palm colored antics where it's like somebody of color or a black woman in general is telling you how they feel, but by the end of the conversation, the black person or the person of color feels bad and feels the need to apologize to them. And I got where Dorit was somewhat coming from, where she was like, it makes me angry that you don't trust us around your kids. It's kind of like you're calling us bad people. And Garcelle is like, I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm just saying that's how I feel. And then Dorit did that whole thing, well, I'll never share anything with you ever again. That would have pissed me off. And I'd have been like, okay, don't ever share anything with me again because I'm not sharing anything with you. It was a mess. I got where Garcelle was coming from. I slightly understood what Dorit was talking about, where she was just like, it's been a year. You should be over it. But I do think Garcelle needs to stop holding on to information and waiting to tell the ladies. Like, if you felt this at Eagle Woman, you should have said at Eagle Woman, I don't really trust y'all around my kids, and I'm still grappling with that. Then we could have moved forward. I think that is what Dorit is kind of talking about. It's like, we had an opportunity for everyone to put their feelings and issues on the table, and you didn't really say nothing. Really? Like, you didn't say nothing. But I don't know. I wonder how Dorit and Garcelle are gonna move forward, because at this point, it is what it is. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and hop down in them comments below. Deuces.